This is one of many parts of the UK now considered to be a former Labour heartland. There are 3 constituencies in and around Stoke, and on Thursday night, all of them voted for a Conservative MP. The last time that happened was the early 1930s.
Over to my right is this chap from the BBC. They're interested on what's changed in Stoke and all that.
For the last 15 years, Danny Flynn has been in charge of this YMCA in Hanley, which has helped thousands of young people in the area.
And give someone a shake of the hand or a cuddle of the neck, because Stoke is not Stoke, don't you?
He considers himself a Labour voter, but thinks the party has lost its way.
The traditional Labour Party in the north of England and Stoke is working men's club, is trade union, is community. It isn't rabid ideology. Lots of towns in the north of England are army towns. So Stoke's an infantry town. Being proud of the flag, being proud of the Union Jack, being proud of coming from England.
And where does Jeremy Corbyn fit into this?
Well, I think people believe him not to be. They believe him not to be nationalist. They believe him to be anti-Britain. They believe him... I'm not saying he is, because I voted Labour.
That's the perception,
But the perception is, if you go down the Stoke ground and talk about him, he's pro-IRA, he's pro-terrorist.
A key difference for him was how voters in Stoke viewed the contrast between Jeremy Corbyn and Boris Johnson.
You know, he's a bit of a blagger and he talks a bit of BS, but he's a bit fun. He's probably a good laugh. And I think they accepted all his buffoonery, as it were, more than Corbyn's ideology.
Until last Thursday, Gareth Snell was the Labour MP for Stoke-on-Trent Central. He lost to his Conservative rival by just over 600 votes.
So in Stoke it was a toxic mix of Brexit and the leadership. You know, some people really like Jeremy, and don't get me wrong, there were people who did say to me they were voting Labour for the first time because of Jeremy Corbyn. But there were lots of people who equally said, I simply cannot vote Labour because of Jeremy Corbyn. I spoke to, old trade union officials that simply didn't believe that what he was suggesting were the answers for today's problems. And the Labour Party was absolutely right to point to the fact that universal credit is failing the poorest, that we have food banks, that we have A&E waiting times increases. But those are all negative things. What we actually, I think, forgot to do in some places was talk about all the positives that we already have and how we can build on that.
It's come to a situation now where nobody trusts any politician, and that's why with this Brexit had to be, as far as I could see, Brexit had to be done and out of the way before they could concentrate on the NHS and everything else. And when you get a bloke who's non-committal on Brexit, which he wasn't, Jeremy Corbyn, and a bloke who, for some reason, is intensely disliked by people who don't even understand politics, which he was. I mean, you talk to anybody on the street, we think Jeremy Corbyn, don't want him leader. And that was the attitude.
I think we'd be better out of Europe than in it. I'm not particularly a great Boris Johnson fan, but I prefer him than Corbyn. No, I definitely wasn't going to vote him. I don't care what party he's in, whether it was in Labour, Lib Dem or whatever. I would never have voted that bloke.
What could Labour do now to win back your vote?
Oh, they'd have to do something really big to win it back, because I've always been Labour and all my family have, and they've all jumped to Conservative.
So do you want to revise your view?